5 NHL games today, including some really important ones. St. Louis playing Winnipeg. That game means a lot. Calgary faces San Jose. Can Calgary get themselves back in the race? We got the Kings in play, Edmonton in play. Who's getting home ice in that matchup? And both the Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning are looking for W's. I'm Lawrence Presman. You're watching the Blue Line Hockey Betting Podcast. My co-host, the great Matthew Barnaby. Matthew, what a weekend for Ovechkin, to say the least. But that is over and done with, and I don't care. The most important question I have, Matt, is, are the Capitals a bet against team moving forward now that the emotions are done, the race is over? Is this team even going to show up for their next hockey game?
It's a great point. I think subconsciously you're going to have a letdown. You know, Ovechkin has emotionally been charged. The team's been emotionally charged with the way that they've played. So I think it's only natural, having been in that position, that you have a letdown. You look at, like Sidney Crosby when he went to the Four Nations Cup, comes back. I watched them against Washington the next day with no rest after being emotionally thrive through that whole tournament, come back and they get blown out 9-3. Now, Pittsburgh is not nearly as good a team as Washington, but I think it is a bet against team going forward. They're locked into their position. Ovi has his goals. He has the record. So I think it is a place to bet against Washington Capitals going forward for the next 10 days.
Yeah, the only issue really right now is that their next game is on Thursday at home against Carolina. So I don't even think... they got a nice long rest waiting ahead for them. But a fun weekend at that, and congratulations to Ovechkin. He'll hold the record for a little while until 34 decides to break it.
God. Oh, just stop with the rhetoric. Stop.
He's ahead.
I know.
Goal per game.
He has to do it for a long period of time to catch, right?
Hey, look, it's all us Leaf fans got, Matthew, so stop raining on our parade.
Yeah,
guys,
we're going to talk some Leafs in the coming days, because Ottawa's climbing the standings, and
it's
Florida
crazy.
Could be a first-round matchup.
What an unbelievable gift that would be for the Leafs. They finally win the division, and then they get Florida, who's coming into the playoffs with Ekblad and Matthew Tkachuk, $12 million over the salary cap. It is what it is. You get who you get. And I think the way I look at it is Florida would be hard-pressed to want to play the Leafs. They've owned Tampa Bay, dude. Like, in all seriousness, Florida plays Tampa Bay almost every playoff, and it's never close. The Leafs... I'd rather play Tampa Bay if I'm Florida. But regardless, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. There's a huge game between Toronto and Tampa Bay, and Toronto and Florida. And Toronto could help lift Florida as well by simply not showing up. Guys, you're watching the Blue Line. Matthew Barnaby and myself, we do the show every single day, Monday to Friday. It's up on WagerTalk TV around 11 a.m. Eastern time. You can find it on every single podcast, streaming podcast place, Apple, Amazon, Podcast Addict, Spotify. We're everywhere. Look us up using the Blue Line. And if you don't mind giving us some reviews on those streaming podcasts, hitting the like button on YouTube and the streaming podcasts, really appreciate that stuff. That's how we build a successful podcast. It's through you guys and the interaction and the love that we get. So please help us do this. Anyway, Matt, let's get into our first game. We got the New York Rangers playing Tampa Bay, and this Montreal Canadian team keeps winning, Matthew, over and over every day. They're really finally putting some space between them, the Rangers, and Columbus, but it is only 2 points. No, it's not. It's more than 2 points. It's 4 points now. Man, Tampa Bay needs to win this game if they want to win this division. They're playing the Rangers. The Rangers are plus 120. The over and under is 5.5, and I'll go to you first.
Yeah, listen, the Tampa Bay has not been good in New York. 1-7 in their last 8 there. Under has played, been very prevalent. Under 4 of the last 6 for Tampa Bay, whereas New York's played the over 5 of the last 7. So erase all of those. I've said it over and over. The New York Rangers are the worst defensive team in the National Hockey League. I think Tampa Bay takes advantage of that. I like them in regulation, even though numbers haven't supported that lately. But New York, I think's out of it. I think they're listen. I think both sides are set, not seeding
Yeah.
wise, but I think everyone that you see in the playoffs right now in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference is what we're going to see in the playoffs in a few weeks. So I like the Tampa Bay Lightning here to get it right. Much better team, and like I said, I don't believe in New York at all.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think the playoffs are set for who's in and who's out. And was wrong. The New York Rangers, Detroit Red Wings, they're both 6 points out. They do both have a game in hand, but that is just too many points. And I'm with you, Matthew, on this game. I think a great bet here is the over. Really surprised there's some 5.5s out there. This New York Rangers team just allowed New Jersey to put up 4, Minnesota 4, Anaheim 5. They've only allowed one team under 3 goals in the last 6 games, and that was the San Jose Sharks, and they can score. They put up 5 against Minnesota, 6 against San Jose, 4 against Anaheim. So, yeah, we've got one of those double threat overs with a team that can't keep the puck out of the net and a team that can score. And we know Tampa Bay can match anybody. They just put up 8 a few games ago against Utah, 5 and 4 against the Islanders. And they are coming off of 2 bad scoring games in a row between Buffalo and Ottawa. So I could see a correction there. I like the over as well, yeah, but I don't necessarily like Tampa Bay. I don't think there's any value at 145. Over for me, over for you with a slight lean towards Tampa Bay or Matthew Barnaby. Let's turn our attention to this game, Winnipeg, St. Louis. And, hats off to St. Louis. Congratulations to them. A 12-game winning streak. Really, really hard to do. Now, granted, they only beat the Avalanche and Montreal as playoff teams in that 12 games, but regardless of that, nobody goes out there and wins 12 in a row. Now they play Winnipeg, who is in a dogfight, Matt. We speak about how the playoffs are set. What's not set is the seedings. And, Winnipeg is in this really interesting position where they're either going to play Minnesota or St. Louis or Colorado. This is a huge game for the Winnipeg Jets. I like them in this spot, and I think the streak ends tonight. What about you?
I'm with you. I don't like to get along with you, and it's still early. We got 3 more games after this, but listen, St. Louis is like Hulk Hogan. That the hand came up, and he came up off the mat, and he started laying the forearm shivers, and he wins his fight. St. Louis woke up from the dead. They are in a playoff position, and credit to them. That's a tough thing to do, like you said, Prez. 12 games in a row, even though they weren't very many playoff teams, great teams, still anyone can beat anyone in the National Hockey League. We know that. Winnipeg has been great all year long. 2 great goaltenders. I like the under in this one, but I really like Winnipeg.
Yeah, so we're both on the same page again. And yes, Matt, I like that you mentioned the under because I agree with you there too. That was one of my handicaps. And I think ultimately you can take Winnipeg under so long as they're trying all the way through. It's going to be interesting to see if these 2 teams match up in the first round. I think we're going to see 5s across the board in almost every single game. Matthew Barnaby and the Prez, you're watching the Blue Line. Normally, we have a guest on this show. Last week, we were lucky enough to have Mike Commodore, Brad May, and Rob Ray. We'll have guests again this week. We did not have one today. It's going to be like that throughout the life of the show with these guests, maybe 2 to 3 a week, and sometimes we go without them. Matthew, let's talk about this Edmonton Oilers team, and I want to go into the dressing room again. One of the great things about This show, from a betting perspective, is Matthew Barnaby is on with us. He played in the NHL for 14 years. He played for many different coaches, many different organizations. It's not because they didn't want him, it's because others did. And he can tell us what the mindset is in the dressing room. And that's what I want to talk to you about with Edmonton and Anaheim, because Edmonton is pretty close. After losing to the Kings, and by the way, I bet the Kings pretty big on Saturday. After losing to the Kings, it feels like they're going to play against each other, and the Kings are going to have home ice. It feels to me like Edmonton has accepted that fate. Draisaitl is out. Ekholm is out. Skinner is out. Klingberg is out. McDavid is out. Kane is out. I think this is one of those games where, regardless of who's out, teams want to beat Edmonton. I got to believe Anaheim's the play here. Tell me what is happening in these dressing rooms, because I think Anaheim is excited, and I think Edmonton is like, let's move on.
If I was going to bet this game, I would take Anaheim. I do support that theory. I think when you have a veteran team like Edmonton, they know where they're going to be. They know who they're going to play, and they're already looking forward to that. They're not going to risk any injury with guys that are even a little bit banged up. And I don't want to say they're checked out, but listen, they know where they are. And
Right.
I think with veteran guys and your star players, you're not going to put those guys in the lineup. So Anaheim has everything to play for. They're young kids that are trying to get bonuses into their contracts. They're playing for ice time at different levels of the game. So they're still amped up because they know their season is going to be over in about 10 days. They know they're going to Bahamas. They know they're going to Aruba. They're going off to Vegas and partying. These are young kids still, whereas Edmonton's on the other side of the spectrum. They're just waiting for game one to start. So I'm not touching this game, but if I had to lean, I'd be with you, with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Guys, hit that like button. Calgary, Matthew, they're playing San Jose. And look, Calgary is not out of it. Yes, they're 6 points back on Minnesota, but they also have 2 games in hand, which brings them to 2 points back if they can win them both. Now, they will lose the tiebreaker, I think. Yeah. But regardless of that, this Calgary team is going to give it their all. And I think we've seen that. This Calgary team surprised me this year, Matthew. I thought this was going to be a bet against team all the way. And they're going to end the season over 500. And they have shown a lot of moxie. They did lose a tough game to Vegas in overtime, so they were able to sneak a point out. Now they play San Jose, and we spoke about this after San Jose beat the Leafs. Both you and I talked about, it's time to bet against San Jose again, and well, they've lost 5 straight. I don't know where to go here. There's way too much money on Calgary, minus 200. If I'm to bet this game, I'm going to take Calgary in regulation. But I think this game's an outright pass for me, Matthew. I hate doing that on the show, but I'm not going to make stuff up. People are betting their hard-earned money on our thoughts and prognostications, so I pretty much have nothing here.
Well, I have LA and Calgary in a parlay. So 200, a little too much for me. I think Calgary wins. Like you said, they have the most to play for. Calgary, last 5, all play to the under. San Jose plays to the over. I think this is an underplay at 6. I just think Calgary tries to play shutdown D, win this game 3-1, maybe 4-1. San Jose is just not a good hockey team in general. Calgary needs to win this game, so I'm on Calgary, but I have them in a parlay.
There we go, a parlay. I know your parlay on Thursday did really, really well. How did it? You remember how you did on Friday?
Friday, I was just over. I was clicking like 58% with everything.
No, I meant the parlay, though. I can't remember either.
I don't remember the parlay per se right now with as many bets as hey, Friday, many bets ago.
Yeah, so long ago. Matthew, we've already established that you like the LA Kings here, minus 235, parlayed with Calgary at minus 200. I can't get there with you. I think this is a horrible spot for LA, even though they are at home. A giant really playoff setting win against Edmonton. This has letdown written all over it. Seattle's playing their best hockey that they've played in a while, at least in their last 2 games. 10-1 against their competition, 5-1 against San Jose, and a big win in Vancouver, 5-0. I'm going to look at the under in this game, Matthew. We've already seen 2 good defensive efforts by Seattle, and one thing you can count on from LA, and that's unders, bro. This team is 29 and 44 to the under this season. This team has allowed 0-2, 1-1 goals in their last 4 games. I can't get to the window on the Kings. I like the under a lot here.
Well, I have a lot of notes, as always, as you do, as everyone does when they're doing these kind of things, so you get the proper stats out there. So I am with you. Unders across the board, almost. We don't talk before the show with our picks because we want it to organically be done, but both these teams played the under. LA plays the under more than anyone else. You alluded to that last week. I'm on the under as well. I think we see a lot of 5-goal games tonight. So I'm with you. I'm LA, Calgary in that parlay, but I'm on the under in this game as well.
Well, let's talk about that. You ever bet the Grand Salami?
No. What is the Grand Salami?
That's the under or over of the entire board.
No.
Well, Matthew doesn't know this, but he likes the under on the Grand Salami. There you go, Matthew.
There you go.
We got the best prop expert on the planet joining us, and a guy that I had the privilege of speaking to for half an hour while doing a chest workout yesterday in the gym. He had to listen to me grunt. He had to listen to those plates drop on the ground because I lift so heavy.
Yeah,
Andy
those tens,
Lang.
Make a big noise when they hit the ground, eh?
They do.
Let me know when you elevate to actually having weights on the bench press as opposed to the bar.
Just the bar. You know, Andy lifts weights when he's bench pressing like this. But
my camera's like I'm on the small screen, so I have to keep the hand. There we go. Now I can do the proper part. How are you guys today? Happy Monday. Happy Masters Week. Happy Masters Week. It's the greatest week in sports. Happy Masters Week.
I'm excited about the Masters as well. We're actually going to be doing a deep dive into the Masters, how to bet it on our Wednesday WagerTalk Today show. You guys can check that out over at WagerTalk TV. We do that every single day, noon Eastern. And also we got a baseball show called First Pitch, another hockey show, Puck Time. You guys, if you've never checked out WagerTalk TV, I would argue, and I look factually, I could be wrong here, but I would argue that there's probably more sports betting content there than at any place on the internet. It's unbelievable. And as a company, we are 902 subscribers away from 200,000 subscribers. How crazy is that, Andy? 902 subscribers away from 200K. Which is about how much money I lost in the stock market in the last 5 seconds. But that's a different story.
Sick. Making me nauseous.
I mean, I got to WagerTalk late. I mean, you guys brought me in right after the COVID shutdowns. I think we were at 40,000.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's been insane.
I think I remember celebrating 50,000 with everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, we did it! 50,000."
Well, we're going to be celebrating 900,000 by the end of the week. Andy, let's get into some prop bets for tonight. And then, Matthew, I want to hear yours. Andy, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I got two strong ones today. Matt and I are kind of just getting to know each other on this show. So, Matt, I'm looking at players, and I like to ride streaks on these props. I don't want to play a guy just once and hope to go 1-0. I want to go like 5-1, 6-2, those kind of streaks. So, Rasmus Anderson over 1.5 shots on goal is a streak we've been riding. He's gone over in 8 straight games. We're going to play him again. He's averaging 5.4 shot attempts and 2.4 shots on goal. So that checks out. He's getting the opportunities, pretty efficient with his shots. And dream matchup, San Jose allows 31.6 shots on goal. It's second worst in the NHL. So we'll keep riding Rasmus Anderson, especially if he keeps playing teams like San Jose. And then we'll go to Brandon Montour to not have a point. He has no points in the last 8 games. And this does not bode well for him that the Kraken have scored 10 goals the last 2 games. And he has no points in any of the 10 goals. He wasn't involved in any of them. Kings have won 4 straight. They've only allowed 4 total goals in those 4 games. So he gets a tough matchup. They're not scoring. He played the Kings earlier this year, only 1 shot on goal and no points. So 2 strong bets for me. That's all I need to make profit tonight.
Matthew?
Andy, I'm going with your over 1.5 shots theory. Alex Lafreniere is 3-2 in his last 2 games. 0 points in the last 3, but he's playing better. I think he'll be shooting the puck a lot tonight. Now, a lot for him. We're going to get to at least 3 shots, I believe, there. Kucherov over 5 in his last 8, 3.5 shots. I think he's at 4 or 5 tonight. Everyone loves playing New York. Everyone loves playing in New York. Plus 135 on that one. I love Kucherov shooting the puck tonight.
Wow, that's awesome. Andy, how about Max Verstappen out of the blue? Where did that come from? Leading both McLarens. Oh, my Lord, we're going to have a little race. And we thought this was going to be McLaren's year. Does Max have a shot for 4 in a row?
No, that track was a little bit cold, a little bit damp. There's nowhere to pass on that one. I think there were 3 overtakes the entire race. Not all tracks are going to be that way. They're in Bahrain this week. It's going to be a McLaren double podium. By the way, if you're betting Formula One, McLaren double podium every week, Ferrari top 10 every week, Mercedes double top 10 every week. Rinse and repeat. You'll be rich by the end of the season.
And that's why you got to watch the show, everybody. Andy Lang, Matthew Barnaby, what an outstanding show. Matthew, what is your best bet?
Oh, for me, it is the under in the Seattle-LA game.
For me, it is the under in the Seattle-LA game. We both have the same best bet. That was random. It happened on Friday and we lost, so let's get it back.
Yeah,
guys,
get it back.
Thanks for watching The Blue Line, everybody. It's a privilege to do this show, a pleasure to do it with Matthew Barnaby. We'll have some guests this week. The show will be up every day, 11 a.m. Eastern time on WagerTalk TV and all of the streaming platforms. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, review the show, make comments. We need all the help we can get. We will see you all tomorrow. Let's win all of our sports bets tonight. Thanks, guys.